It is time for Flip and Friends. I am your host, Kenneth Davis. You can find me at That's Davis, executive producer of this show, Flip and Friends, and also That Davis Show. With Ryan Bukovetsky. You can follow him at Ryan B. Ski and Ryan B. Ski 1, of course, from Second City Sports, and also a contributor to We Are Regal Radio. We have Sidney Brown. Follow him at Sid Kid 80. And last but not least, joining the show, friend of the show, we have Jason Kessner. Follow him at JF Kessner. We got a little bit. Oh man, the phone's ringing. You can't get in right now. You got to get in later. All right, kicking off the show, I feel like we should go into the animal world. Ryan got this one called cocaine hippos. Scientists are growing concerned about the rising population of hippopotamuses that were introduced to Colombia back in the 1980s by drug kingpin Pablo Escobar. The hippos, native to Africa, have extended from their original home and have invaded extensive areas of Magdalena River Basin in Colombia over the past several decades in the study. The population also vastly increased. Researchers believe there are about 80 hippos ancestors from Escobar's former pets roaming the country, and up to 35 from the count in 2012. According to the Smithsonian Magazine, the hippopotamus's feces fertilize I believe this is cyanobacteria, also known as blue algae, in the water and that they reside in, and poses a serious danger to human and other animals as the environment. It's in the environment itself. I apologize. The study also mentioned violent encounters occurring between humans and hippos, which, if y'all didn't know, that is definitely what pops off for Africa. In 1980s, Escobar illegally imported several species of exotic animals to Colombia to establish a private zoo. This is how you know you're doing well with cocaine. You know what we need? A private zoo in this bitch.
I like those hippos.
Right?
Bring a few.
A private zoo at his 7,000-acre ranch in Hacienda Nápoles, located in the municipality of, I believe it's Puerto Triunfo. Among animals before hippos, 1 male and 3 female. And think about that. He was like, they only need one dude. All right. Like you're basically talking about you about to procreate with these hippos, you procreate hippos in this motherfucker, which why would you do that? After Escobar was killed in Colombia's National Police in 1993, the ranch and the person who sued were seized by the authorities. And while most of his exotic animals were relocated, the 4 hippos were left in the wild because they were too difficult to capture. It was like, fuck them hippos.
And now it's ruining everything.
Right. And now they basically have to cull them. That's the fuck. They basically listen, we got to kill these motherfuckers, man. These numbers are getting crazy out here. And it's nothing a natural predator to a fucking hippo.
I'm a little shocked how you said too hard to capture. Like, if in America, like if a bear runs across the street, you shoot it and it's just dead. And they just don't do that with the hippos. They're just like, you know what? Since we can't capture them, honestly, we better just let them go.
I mean, but you know, okay, since you're an outdoorsy person. So black bears, they tell you to do what? Run. And grizzlies, they tell you to play dead because you don't stand a fucking
I thought it was the same if it was a bear.
Grizzlies are different. They don't try it with a grizzly. Don't try shit. All right, that's how big a grizzly bear
is. Play dead, yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's and they also tell you, if you shoot a bear, he has so much adrenaline in him that he'll probably still be able to kill you depending on your distance, right? This is a fucking hippo, all right? This is like 2.5 bears, basically, a full-grown motherfucking hippo.
Well, you got an army, don't you? Get the firing squad. Why does it got to be 1 man, 1 bullet, Russian roulette?
That's what I don't know what in Colombia what PETA is. But to see the army sitting there unloading on hippos, just massacring, just taking them out, right?
I just don't understand. What were the capturing? Did they put the stick in the box and it didn't go under there? And it was just you know what? Can't get them.
Fuck it.
It's too wily.
Hard. No, man, it's fucking dog. Hippos are dangerous as shit. So, I mean, me personally.
Well, apparently their shit is dangerous.
Don't more people die from hippos attacks?
In Africa, yes.
Than alligators and crocodiles?
I believe so. Hippos will fuck you up.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's something like crocodiles and lions and something combined don't even equal hippo deaths.
I saw this awesome video. There was a wounded gazelle, and this hippo was protecting the gazelle from both the crocodile in the water and the hyenas on the land.
Wow.
Yeah, nobody F's with
hippos.
F's with a hippo.
You leave a hippo alone.
The animal kingdom knows this very well, and
apparently so do Colombians as well. They know, hey, we can't capture it. You leave those things alone.
Leave that motherfucker alone.
Yeah, yours surely will play dead, especially if it hippos on crack. I'm gonna play dead. I ain't messing with that thing.
I don't think you play. I think you better run with the fucking.
Yeah. That's
a different. I mean, if it just sat on you, you're dead. If it stepped on you, you're dead. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a whole different beast right there. I'm running from them. And think about it, hippos. I think they can get up to like 35 miles an hour easy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a fucking tank, basically.
Because like for a crocodile and an alligator, you're supposed to like side swipe. You go side. You'll never outrun them going straight line. They'll catch you. They'll mow you down. So you go side to side with their stubby little arms. They can't get you. I wonder if there's like a hippo.
Wait, let me ask you this. Nah, hippo.
I don't know that a hippo's that agile. You got to do like a cone drill on the hippo, right?
You gotta get your hips, twisting your hips.
Gotta slalom to survive the hippo attack.
Wait. Real quick, Ryan. When you're talking about the alligator, what's the side to side distance?
Like zigzag. You want to zigzag.
How many steps in that zigzag? Is it just like one pop, two pop, or I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
I'm saying 2 and then plan on the third and push the other direction. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming so you're starting full speed because you feel like this thing is about to come. So I think it's dealer's choice at that point, and you almost want to kind of go I think you want to go a few steps. Like you want to go in a clear direction so the animal thinks that it needs to
going
turn,
that way.
and then you got to zigzag the other way. If you're just going like doing the ladder drill like at the combine or something, I don't think it's gonna matter that much.
You can't do the Allen Iverson go weaving back and forth.
Like imagine like hopscotch where you're just kind of like your legs are just going straight to the side straight, but you're just going same direction and just mows you down.
Crocodile like, what the heck is he doing, man?
Idiot! You're about to die, you idiot.
Butt off.
All right. This comes out of the Chicago Tribune. The recent ridiculous spike in carjackings across Chicago is due largely to young people taking cars around the city to joyride in vehicles and dump them, a police officer told Alderman Friday. And I was watching a car get jacked yesterday, man, after, and she was like, what do you think they're doing? I was like, they probably just cold. Like I was like, I think they're just out here stealing cars because they got guns in their pockets. And it's like, dude, let's get out of the cold. Let's take this car real quick. It was like, the bus isn't coming. Guess we might have steal a car. I think, like, for the most part, with members of city council and public safety committees describing residents and neighborhoods across Chicago as fearfully of being carjacked while running daylight errands. Chief Detective Brendan Dinahan said that some of the cars being stolen are often at gunpoint and been used in other crimes. I did think that too initially, or cut up and resold by criminal gangs. But in many cases, teenagers are taking the vehicles to drive around in them for a while, then they abandon them. Overall, the biggest spike we see right now is people taking cars, driving around for 8 to 10 hours to dump them, Dinahan said. The increase in carjacking has not just been in Chicago, but the suburbs and nationwide, he also alluded to. There have been 166 carjackings in Chicago so far in 2021, Dinahan said. Police have made 108 arrests, but 58 of those arrestees have been charged only with misdemeanor trespassing to a vehicle. Listen, if them little motherfuckers pulled out a pistol, you better do more than misdemeanor trespassing, which these probably the people that broke in the car and stole it, rather than someone that actually carjacked and took somebody up out of the car. But I know just being in Chicago, it's definitely crossed our mind a couple times because Ashley's car isn't even working. So since we both work from home, we've just been using the truck. And I'm like, you basically don't go get gas. I'll just go get gas out of it. And some of the shit, the thing is too, because not like I got a new whip. Some of the shit these motherfuckers are stealing, it's just like, man, it is not even that serious. It was like I forgot what type of Pontiac it was, but I said a Pontiac. They don't even fucking make
just gotta say
I was going to say that was how when we were kids.
It was a Pontiac. It didn't even have the same color hood on it as the car. The hood was black. Right? And this girl was at the gas station. This dude just walked up, told her to get out, let her walk away. Got in the car and they pulled off. And I'll tell you this. I remember me and one of my buddies used to get into it with my father, watching Fox thing in the morning in high school before we went to school. And he used to be like, man, if they carjack you, let that car go. We used to be like, they shooting motherfuckers even when they carjacking. Fuck that, I'm pulling off. Man, listen, let that car go. Right? Like, if
Yeah.
if the motherfuckers are gonna let you walk away, man, get that motherfucking car
Yeah.
up and get that car go the other way. Man, either you gonna get it back, or if it's insured, you'll get another one. But that's the real reason why this is here is a PSA. Let that motherfucking car go. All right, like let that shit. It's not that serious if you still have your health. Now, if they shoot you and you have the guala on you before you recess into the night, let that heat rattle. But if it's a peaceful exchange, just part ways with the vehicle, man, to say the least. Sydney, if you was in that situation getting carjacked, what would Sydney Brown do? I can see the feistiness in the Sydney Brown. You know, curse at him as you give it up to sticking my shit.
And what if it's a beautiful white woman that's holding you at gunpoint?
If it was legal to carry a pistol, I would still get out the car, but if the idiot didn't try to shoot first, I would shoot at him first.
Dang.
I'm just saying. As if it was legal.
Wild West.
It is legal to carry a pistol, Sydney.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can conceal and carry nowadays, Sydney, for like the last 4 years. You can carry a pistol.
Well, it's on now. I'll go get my register on.
Oh my God.
Are you saying that? Because now this is a great discussion we have. So are you saying that, all right, Sydney, the person pulls you out the car, right? Gets in the car, they're about to pull off. You're going to pull out your gun and shoot them, right? Is that what you're saying?
I'll try to shoot at him, yeah.
Dang! Sydney Brown, the fastest gun in the Midwest.
Now, this happened about a week ago or two. A gentleman, I believe he was in Logan Square, got out of his I think it may have been a truck, got out to go grab something, left the car running, came back out. Somebody was pulling off in the car. He starts shooting at the car, right? I believe they jump out. I think they may have shot at him, but the person jumps out, runs into another car that was out there waiting, and they pull off and leave the car. Now, technically, you're not supposed to, if you have a concealed carry, discharge your weapon if it's over theft. Like, so you're not supposed to be like, oh, you stole my shit, right? Die! You're not supposed to. Like, you're not the judge, jury, and executioner, Sydney Brown. I'm just.
But let's be honest, they'll be the first thing that comes to most people's minds.
I'm gonna clean up this little black boy blood that's left on my seats. Dumbass. So, Ryan, I think it's Ryan. Is Ryan frozen or is he leaving us? Ryan,
I think he's frozen.
Somebody bring Ryan back to life, please.
Oh, there he is.
He's
getting carjacked.
That was Casket Ryan right there for a second.
The ghost of Sydney Brown came down to Arizona. Take whatever you'd like, sir.
Ryan, if you were concealing carry and somebody carjacked you gonna let that heat ride at him?
I don't know. I'm not a big murder fan, and that's like if someone is invading your house with loved ones, I start understanding that argument of let that heater ride. But I think with the car, I'm just gonna let him have the car. I don't know. I might pull it out and be like, "Yo, you even think about it, bitch? I'm going to blast you away."
So wait, let me be clear. So someone that has a gun, you're going to show them that you have a gun. Theirs is already out. And you're going to be like, I got that shit too.
I don't know. Like, that's a hard one for me because I don't want to murder and you kind of have some protection. Like, I'll have insurance and the car would be stolen. And I guess I would assume my insurance would be able to kind of help me out and take care of getting a new car. Is that worth a man's life or a woman's life? I don't know. That seems like a lot.
You sound like a Sam Cooke song right there when you just said that. Also, remember that that fireman that unfortunately died over on 118th in Western. They caught the fourth guy in like Pennsylvania. He was extradited here this past week. Mind you, when they jumped out to rob him of his car, first of all, don't get any Mopar. Some people may not consider Jeep Mopar. I throw it in there with Mopar now. Anything with that SRT shit, don't buy it. They're going to take you out of that motherfucker. Let it go. And my Grand Cherokee Lemon was my first car ride of my own, and I loved it. It's still probably the best ride I ever had, all-wheel drive. I wouldn't own a fucking Mopar. If you gave that motherfucker to me, I'm trading that bitch in now. That's the ride of all these motherfuckers. But the fireman had on those Jeeps, some souped up Jeeps. And he pulled out his revolver and exchanged fire, and he ended up being shot and killed. So that's the thing. I just want you to know, like, if either you gonna blast your way out of that bitch, or you gonna shoot a motherfucker in the back.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean,
that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
But don't have a man have a gun to your face, Ryan, and you flash your shit. You never go pull it out. I got one too.
Wait, sir. If you would look down for just a moment, you would see I as well have a weapon.
Jason, what about you?
They can have it.
Yeah. Murder.
I'll walk away. It's just a car.
Right. Sydney out here murdering.
Sydney.
Right. Only because it's a black man. She's like, ain't nobody gonna matter.
Might even tell him what's wrong with it as they drive away.
Gonna miss you, no boy. Anybody gonna miss you. Sydney Brown.
I love how it's to sign it and in blood, of course.
Sydney Brown.
Yeah, as they're driving away, I might even tell them, go easy. This is broken.
Right.
As Sydney's driving away, he's going to be yelling at the dead body, being like, I thought you were going to get my car, you idiot. Now you're dead.
Oh, boy.
All right. This is out of Yahoo Entertainment. Beth Kerferen were to do The Bachelorette all over again. There's one big thing she would change. The season 14 lead revealed to The Insider she wished she talked to the men early on about politics. She turned to that into regret, into advice she shared with the current bachelor, Matt James, who we all know as a brother. I told him, look, if I was a bachelorette again, the second I walked into the house after meeting everyone, I would say, who did you vote for and why? Let's talk about it, she shared. There's no way in hell they show that conversation. But for me, especially living through the past year, it would be important to me. The advice is especially poignant given her breakup with Garrett. I believe this is Ugogren. We'll just call him Garrett. The pair ended their engagement a few months ago, after more than 2 years together. When the pandemic hit, George Floyd was murdered. We started really having different types of conversation that we weren't necessarily having before, the designer added. While Gufferin's season of The Bachelorette was airing, old social media posts were unearthed showing that he liked messages that mocked the LGBT community, immigrant children, and survivors of the Parkland shooting. That's like the trifecta of fuckery right there. Cufferin initially stood by Garrett as he publicly apologized, but she feels different now. I've really reined in what's simply acceptable to me and what's not. This is what people should be living off of in the first place. This is what this Trump shit has really been giving us. In June, Garrett posted a message in support of police amid Black Lives Matter protests, prompting the former couple to have them to have uncomfortable conversations again. I was like, what's important to me? What's important to him? She recalled. Are we going to be able to make it and have a lasting relationship for the lifetime with our differences? She continued, how are we going to raise kids and what kind of conversations do we want to have with those children? I can still have a relationship with myself and feel it's the right decision for me and my children moving forward. So again, for the people out there where it's like, I love the people, and this is funny when you saw some of the people that jumped into the Capitol building. I love the people that voted for Obama and they voted for Trump. Because it's like, I don't give a fuck, right? It's just like, it's like, whatever's new, right? It's like, they're the same. They're exactly the fucking same. I found it interesting. To me, when she says this, it's funny that people had to start having these conversations because of what took place, and people should have been having these conversations in general. You know, it's one thing to not talk politics and religion at work or, you know, with associates, but with someone you intend on living the rest of your life with, that's a whole different conversation. Now, again, marry people from across the line when it comes to being Republican and Democrat, but it also goes to show you when people, like, for instance, be like, these people, we talked about this before, those people are pedophiles. And it's like, you know, both of those parties hang out together, right?
Right.
So if one of them's fucking kids, they both fucking kids, right? They're like, come on now. In front of us, they act like they don't get along.
Not the liberals.
Right. But yeah, I just find it's funny that you have to wait until a really unfortunate incident takes place to have uncomfortable conversations. When if you want to really get to the brass tacks with someone, you should start doing that to find out who you're dealing with in the first place. But Jason, what about you, man? You've been in situations like this. I know how has it gone?
I mean, this seems so unnatural to me to not talk about this till after you're serious with somebody. Like, this is pretty early on stuff to like establish what you value, at least for me. It's even saying something that's evolved as I've gone through multiple people. Like, it's one thing to have a tacit like belief and support in certain things, but then to be like, really repping the white suburbs, aren't you? And then just be like, all right, let's get somebody who's true to the cause, rather than just like lip service and what's maybe expected for a level of decency.
Ryan?
Well, yeah, I know after Sydney just murdered a man that we know where he's going to go with that one.
Our moral leg is very, very shaky, right?
Wait, what was that?
Our moral leg is very shaky at this point. We
Right,
don't have a lot
exactly.
I kill you.
I think, yeah, like Jason, you put it pretty well. I mean, because they were engaged, right?
Yes.
Like, you're just going to be engaged, and all of a sudden this dude's like, oh, I love this tweet that says, I hate homos. Like, you don't have these conversations with people beforehand, and then you're saying, obviously with George Floyd, like, you never had a run-in with race whatsoever where you were like assuming this woman, let's say you go somewhere and he made a comment, never made a comment, nothing, he was just completely under the covers of this, and then George Floyd happens, like, man, I don't know, those police officers were doing what they were supposed to do, blah blah blah. Like, I'm surprised it would have gone that long without her having any idea about this stuff.
Yeah, they must not live the same lives we do, Ryan, because at home I gotta let off some steam and say some things I wouldn't say to even like friends, and like that's who you're around, is your partner, and they're like, oh, wow,
what the fuck are you saying at home?
What's that?
Say what the fuck
I had to do this flip with all these blackies.
What the fuck is going on in this motherfucker? Real quick, before Sydney jumps in, I think, Ryan, you stuck it. The question is, since the temperature changed in the tenor changed in the country, and she went along with it, now the things that he says bothers her. Because you're right, clearly he said something in the past, but it's like, that's, my last boyfriend talked like that. It's no biggie, right? But now where it's like, no, you know what? Now that she's having an awakening, quote unquote, now she sees him in a different light, where you should have been seeing him in a different light, because I'm sure he wasn't hiding this shit like you're saying. Like, he's just covering up, right? Like, oh,
that's a good point.
I got a perfect example, Ken. One of our favorite whipping boys here on the history of the shows. Like Jay Cutler, I never understood that. Again, he doesn't really believe in a lot of things, but like, no matter how attractive Kristen Cavallari is, I was just like, can't get down with your anti-vax nonsense, because I'd be making fun of you all the damn time.
Right.
Like,
we would talk about that on the show.
Like, you nonsense, and then she'd be like, I'm leaving. I'd be like, good.
You know what, Sydney? You got something to add to that before I go to the next topic?
All I have to say is this: if I'm seriously involved with a person, the conversation of politics will have to be brought up at some point, especially what happened at the Capitol a couple of weeks ago. If you just go ignore something like that, I'm going to have a problem with it. But if I'm trying to hit it and quit it, I can give less than a damn about your politics.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, yes, I like this, Sidney Brown.
I'll
murder you, and I hit it and quit it.
I got a feeling the city, if Bridget had that WAP but still was a racist, you'd be like, it's that WAP. Like that WAP.
Ken, I was thinking when you said that about that girl, like how she had that awakening. I wonder if in her mind before she's like, man, it's weird. White men just hate black people. Whatever, though. That's the norm. Oh, George Floyd? Oh my God, we have problems here.
Listen, I'm gonna punt this because we got a QAnon in here, but I want to punt this to one I picked up from the Tribune since Jason brought up Kristen Cavallari and anti-vaccination. All right, 2 weeks after getting the first dose of the Pfizer COVID vaccination, 56-year-old doctor in South Florida died this week, possibly the nation's first death linked to the vaccine. Health officials from Florida and the Center for Disease Control and Prevention are investigating what role, if any, the vaccine played in the death. Dr. George Michael, a Miami-based obstetrician, whose family says he was in otherwise good health. Michael received the first dose on December 18th at Mount Sinai Medical Center, according to a Facebook post by his wife, Heidi Neckelman. 3 days later, small spots began to appear on his feet and hands, and he went to the emergency room at Mount Sinai. where he worked for his private practice for 15 years, according to a personal website. His blood count, was far below the normal range, according to Neckelman, and he was admitted to intensive care for 2 weeks. She said the doctors tried to raise Michael's platelet count. Experts from all over the country were involved in his care, she wrote. No matter what they did, the platelets count refused to go up. She wrote that Michael was conscious and energetic through the process. But just before a last resort surgery, he suffered a stroke and died. Neckelman did not respond to calls and emails Thursday seeking comment. Darren Capera, director of operations at Miami-Dade Medical Examiner Office, said Michael died sometime between the 3rd and the 4th of this month. Caparera completed an autopsy on the 5th, but it's too early to make any conclusion. Michael's samples have been sent to experts at the CDC for testing. Also, with the work from the Florida Department of Health, nothing has been finalized. Everything is still pending. Michael's death is the first in Miami, the medical examiner's office was investigated where a COVID vaccine is suspected to have played a role. A spokesman for the CDC has said an agency is investigating only one death in which the vaccine may have been involved. He will not confirm if it was Michael's death. In a statement, the South Florida Sentinel, a spokesman for Pfizer, said the company is aware of Michael's death and is it's a highly unusual clinical case. So you brought up anti-vaccination, and I felt like we should go into vaccination since we had a baby. And I'm not doing this by any means to stoke fear in the vaccine. I just want to point that a case like this happens so everyone has enough information, because I'm clearly going to end up probably taking that vaccine. All right, give me my vaccine. So thoughts, I guess I'll go with you, sis, since you didn't really pipe in on the last one. And hearing that this doctor who was healthy, 56-year-old healthy male, and it seems that he had some reaction to this vaccination. It's a lone case right now, even though we heard some other things. How do you still feel about taking the vaccination? And would there be any fear whatsoever in taking it, I guess I should say?
I still kind of have that. I'm going back and forth with whether I want to take it or not. If I have to take it, I'll end up getting it. But shout out to our guy D. I know he was on the program a few weeks ago talking about getting his tubes tied and walking around with orange testicles and all that. If my life had to depend on it, getting my tubes tied or getting that COVID shot, I'm getting that COVID shot.
Well, hold on. Let's back up.
Wait, what?
Are you saying that you get the COVID shot over getting snipped? Is what you're saying?
I'm not walking around with orange testicles. I'm just saying.
Okay, that's what you want to go. Okay, go ahead, Ryan.
Wow, we know the name of this episode, The Truth of Sidney Brown. I love it. I'll murder you over these orange testicles. I don't know. I have I guess a little, I don't know. We talked about this a bunch. I don't want to make any fear in the vaccination either. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but Ken, we've obviously talked about the problems with potentially this vaccine because it's never been done this way. And it's usually you test it out for years and years and years, and we're not going to do that. We have no idea what's kind of going in us in a way. And then on top of it, for me, I'm in Arizona, and I'm reading stuff where it's like essentially impossible for me to go into a store and not be exposed to someone that has it there at some point, because it's just like 1 in every 119 or something people have it in Arizona at this rate. So I feel like I've been exposed to it a lot and has not affected my life. I don't have the fear of hurting my mother and stuff like that. Obviously, I don't want to be a spreader to other people. So I'm debating that. But I'm not in any rush, honestly, to get this vaccine right now.
Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of am sort of adjacent to what Ryan's saying. From the get-go, I knew there'd be a long time before I was able to get it. So it's pretty sure we're gonna work out the kinks by then. But
by
even
the fall, you think by the fall it's gonna be straight?
But even without that, shit, it better have it at least by the fall.
Oh boy, we got this shit ready for Jason. Grandma's had that before we found out that recipe was right.
But even still, you have to think about it.
Go ahead, Jason.
We've got you kind of have to look at at the danger. And, you know, right now, I think I've heard of maybe one or two other cases in the whole country that are similar to the one you just brought forward. But now we've got, you know, mutations that are vaccine resistant or strains that are more deadly and also more contagious.
UK,
So you have to
South
look,
Africa.
you have to look at the risk factors. So
Okay, that's serious. Go ahead.
What's that?
No, I'm saying I'm serious. The UK strain initially was looked at as being more contagious. Now they're saying it's more deadly, and this
Deadly
is from,
too.
like Boris Johnson, I believe, said this, not just some random person, and also the South African strain. But please continue, Jason.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. You assess the risk factors and acknowledge that there is going to be, like, you don't want to say, like, oh, well, we're going to vaccinate people and some people are going to die. But if you're looking at the reality of it, if you're not vaccinating, a hell of a lot more people are going to die than if you are vaccinating. And from an individual level, to like live your life and lead your life without like the daily fear of exposure, like Brian was talking about, and, you know, not just for your own safety, but the way that this has gone on, not knowing whether or not you're carrying it with so many asymptomatic transmissions, in order to live a life and not just be like racked with guilt. Like it's kind of a no-brainer to go out and get this, right?
I feel, yeah, to be honest with you, even though there's a lot of people say, I mean, when you look at the fact that it actually works with your DNA, actually, I believe the protein outside of your DNA, because that does more work than the actual DNA does, but it actually is going into your DNA. It's like, oh, this is different. This is
one other thing though. We get advertisements in this country about every single drug for minor inconveniences that people have, and sudden death is oftentimes one of the symptoms that's run down in the legal. Like, it's not uncommon for things that aren't like completely altering your lifestyle the way in which this pandemic is, for people to not even question that their ED might kill them. Their ED drug might kill them. They're like, oh, it's fine. I got to get it up. But it comes around to something like this.
Hey, I don't know where you're getting your blue diamonds at, Jason.
I'm just saying there are a lot of things that inconvenient that they are less likely to take serious the risk factors of taking said drug than for this vaccination.
Listen, no more Tijuana Viagra for you. That's all I got. Fuck around.
I will say, like,
that liquor store ripped out the function drugs. I mean, oh shit, girl. This is my last straw.
This one.
Hey, you got a quarter? I will say, when you see those like skin like eczema or something, like new medication, and one of the symptoms is death, I wonder about those people. Like, you really need clear skin that badly that you're willing to die over it. Okay,
I'm with you.
Now
Fuck
I know
this,
how you're
man. Just love me for who I am, man. I got bumpy skin. Deal with it. Dude, like, get over it. All right. That's who I am. Like, I'm not taking that. Like you said, the eczema is to be like, I'm like, damn, what type of eczema do you have?
Well, people with like digestive problems, that one of the symptoms for taking their medicine so they have better digestion is that their intestines explode, possibly. Like, it's like
that. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
You want that? You want to go septic?
All right. This is from Complex. It didn't take long for some pro-Trump rioters, supposedly, to turn on their commander-in-chief. Donald Trump left office without pardoning anyone charged in connection with the January 6th storming of the U.S. Capitol building. With no presidential pardon in sight, attorney for one of the most notorious rioters, the horned, shirtless QAnon follower Jake Angeli, says his client evidently regrets being duped by Trump, pushing the blame on former POTUS, who is now facing his second impeachment proceedings because of the deadly riot. The request was of an extraordinary value in that it accorded Trump an opportunity to do what his followers believed would have been an honorable thing to do. Angelina's attorney, Al Watkins, told KMMO V4. Mr. Chatterley, along with many others who were similarly situated, are now compelled to reconcile a betrayal by a man whose back they felt they had for years. You dumbasses. Trump issued a series of pardons before leaving office. Lil Wayne, Kodak Black, and some of y'all who don't know from the tech, and Harry O. Harry-O's an infamous drug dealer. He's like huge. His money helped start Death Row. And he didn't pardon y'all. He pardoned some of the biggest black drug dealers of all time. He regrets very, very much not having not just being duped by the president, but by being in a position where he allowed the duping to put him in a position to make a decision he should not have made, Watkins said in an interview with local news. Angeli is facing federal charges of civil disorder, obstruction of an official proceeding, disorderly conduct in a restricted building, demonstrating in the Capitol building, entered the restricted building without lawful authority, and violent entry and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds. These motherfuckers. I'm sorry. Dude, I was thinking about this shit earlier because I just don't get it. Because just like you see the lady that was crying and she was like, Trump, please, Joe Biden is here, save us. Dude, I grew up at the Leaving Jewels. This motherfucker used to be right there on the rack. And I didn't know at the time he was feeding the Inquirer and the tabloids half of these stories. This motherfucker's been a scumbag since the 80s. How the fuck did y'all think he was doing something for y'all? Like, it's just, you have to come to grips with you played yourself, right? Like, I saw a guy from Australia who was a QAnon person talking about when he shook himself out of it. And he was talking about, I forget this saying that Trump says, it's like tippity top, something like that, right? And then somebody said, yeah, it's like tippity top, it's some saying. And he was saying that QAnon said that when Trump says this, it means that he's down with us, right? But Trump didn't say it when he said Trump was going to say it at the State of the Union. Trump didn't say it until months later at Easter, before the Easter egg hunt that they do on the White House grounds. And he mentioned it, and people was like, there you go. And he was like, see, that's when I knew it was bullshit. No, you should have been known it was bullshit. And he went on to say that due to his depression is kind of how he fell into it. No, and again, I'm not dissing that. And by any means taking a shot at anybody with depression from feeling like at times I've had at least twice in my life where I feel like I was probably clinically depressed. But I'm saying that you still not being honest with yourself, because even when I was depressed, I wasn't just falling for the okie doke, right? Let alone by professional grifters. Like, it's not like Trump got into the White House and started a grift. He's been like, we've known he's been grifting, and by as far as bankruptcy, you know what I'm saying, as far as a philanderer when it comes to what this has been his MO since the 80s, right? So how in the world can you sit there and act like, oh yeah, man, now I feel like everything's on the up and up with him. He's doing this shit for me. You all deserve what you get for storming that building and him playing you. And then the fact that they told him, like, man, you better not pardon nobody. That shit gonna be bad for you. He had to be like, well, motherfuckers. Like, oh, it's sweet. I'm sorry, you guys. I enjoyed that too much. How do you guys feel? I don't care who jumps out. Anyone you can answer the question as I just sit here and relax and take a section to catch my breath, because it's sweet passion over here and lust when it comes to this. Jason, you seem like you have something to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you summed it up pretty well. I mean, these people are fools. And in addition to this part, I heard about how the movement, this conspiracy movement, was falling all over itself during the inauguration. Like, this was supposed to be the moment, the reckoning or whatever they call it.
Storm, I believe is what it's called.
And they're like literally watching along, and the hands are on Bibles. And then that's where they're finally realizing, wait a minute, this isn't real. No shit, it's not real. What? And as for that Angeli guy, like, he claims to be an actor. He has 0 film credits, 0 roles of any kind. He's made it less than a mile away from his high school. I consulted my Phoenix expert, which is not Ryan. He hasn't been there long enough yet. He went to a trash place for high school and he never made it out. And so, not surprising that he got duped by a dumb conspiracy theory.
Wow. Sydney, what are your thoughts?
A couple of things. One, let's not forget about the Central Park 5.
Good one, Sydney. That's more important. That's more important, Sydney. Great one.
Yeah, so anybody that hasn't checked out that PBS special, the Central Park 5 from, I think it was about 6-7 years ago, please look it up online. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. Yeah. But all the people that 45 has, that he pardoned the last day he left office, did any of you guys catch Brian Urlacher's brother Casey that was pardoned too?
We knew that. We knew that. That's why. Listen, no. We said that on this show. that when Brian Urlacher went to the White House, we was like, it's fine because that was like 2 months after Casey got popped for the gambling thing out there in whatever city he was the mayor of, which is still beyond me, right? But no, we said that he did it because
Brian Urlacher, about it. I was like, whoa,
he went there to get it. This is before we found out that Brian Urlacher was like, what y'all didn't like all the Black Lives Matter stuff. This was prior to that. We were still cool with him doing it for his brother. We didn't know he also did it because he liked Trump too, probably. But this is, and that's just getting here, Brian Urlacher. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know how it changed anything or whatever. But yeah, I mean, we thought Casey was gonna get off. When he gave him the jersey, it was like, oh, you out there for your brothers. And listen, for brotherly love, it's understandable. For anybody who got somebody off, so you gotta look, Lil Wayne had drugs and a gun. I don't even know what the hell Killed Up Black was in there for. Harry O had been in jail for like 32 years, all right? Like waiting to get out. I don't know if Trump probably got some good yayo from one of his connects back in the day. He was like, boy, that Harry O shit, he need to get back on these streets because his recipe was sweet, to say the least. Sweet cocaine. It's Ryan Trezor.
Oh my goodness. I think my phone overheated or something and was just like lagging. So I'm trying my computer now. I heard everything you want to say. Or I had a couple things from what you guys were talking about. I wanted to make sure the kudos to Ken because he talked about Casey Urlacher. Exactly why Brian was doing that tweet. When we did the flip, I forgot the gentleman's name in Kenosha that got shot, and Brian Urlacher came out with all those tweets defending him. And Ken said, like, hey, if you're trying to get your brother getting a pardon with this dude in office, you're probably going to say some stuff like that. But maybe that's how he feels anyways, regardless. And then the other thing is what you also said, Ken, and I'm sure, JC, you said the same thing, like, these idiots. Like, Trump has been a piece of crap for I don't know how long. I mean, the 80s, like you said. And what, you do one show on NBC and all of a sudden, what a darling of a man. He is such a good man. Why would NBC ever put anyone terrible on there or something like that? Like, this dude has been, like, cheating on bankruptcy laws to keep his silver spoon money for how many decades? Like, he's just a little bit below Donald Sterling, if not on the same level.
I think they rock together. They rock. I'll say this too, for anybody that doesn't know, when Sydney mentioned this, just to go into it a little bit deeper about the Central Park Five, when these 5 gentlemen were arrested for an alleged rape in Central Park, these 5 black dudes and put in jail, he basically called for them to be executed. And they were all found to be found innocent. So 5 innocent men.
Minors.
On top of that, minors. These 5 minors, he called for them to be executed. He had nothing to do. He wasn't on the TV show that he just did this just to do it. He took out an ad in a
full-page ad. Yep.
Yeah, right.
Just like on 9/11 when he called in to brag about having the tallest building in the city.
Right.
Never mind all the people that just died.
Hey, it's
But he cares about the country though. He really does.
He's staying on point. All right, guys, a couple more, then we'll get out of here. One I had to do because it's just funny that this took place, and I definitely threw some money at it yesterday. I threw $20 at it. Fuck it. USA Today. If you purchased a Mega Million Dollars ticket from Michigan, pay close attention. The $1 billion jackpot winning ticket, the 3rd largest in lottery history, was sold in Michigan according to the Mega Millions website. Friday's winning number 426, 42, 50, 60, and a Mega Ball of 24. Did any one of you guys play the lot of the Mega Millions this past week?
I'm anti-lotto.
That's good. You should. But you're not anti-murder.
We have learned a lot about it today.
I was like, man, listen, I won't play that lotto.
Protect what's mine.
I'm laying up in your ass real quick. What are you about to say? What are you about to say, Jason?
Oh, I didn't have anything. That was Ryan.
Okay. Ryan, were you about to say? No, did you play, Jason?
Oh, no. Okay.
And you were anti-lottery
like 3 times my whole life. Like,
yeah, you've got a very anti-lottery vibe coming.
Hey, man, when it was like $1 billion+, like back in 2018, I played that one.
I was gonna right behind it.
I had a plan.
Largest.
Oh, until it goes to $1 billion.
No.
I only play for gold and silver, baby. No bronze here.
I was just out of the loop. I didn't realize it had gotten that big.
Yeah, it was $1 billion this past.
No. But the last time it was a bill, I played.
It's only gold and silver. What about you,
No
bro?
bronze here. You can keep your bill.
I was just unaware. That's all.
Yeah,
Pandemic.
was
I'm out of the loop on a lot of things. I can't. I gotta be watching the Capitol 24/7. We never.
You don't know who's walking in that bitch all of a sudden.
Capitol Police and senators apparently.
Might be crocodiles in there. You see everybody zigzagging all over the place to get out.
Well, Trump did want to put a moat around the border, so.
Oh, he'd get some cocaine hippos if that.
Oh yeah, he's like, you need to get rid of your cocaine hippos. Bring them to me.
Please, Mr. Trump, this is not going to get you reelected.
What he'll actually do is he'll get put in prison for illegally importing exotic animals when he imports those 40 coke hippos, and that's how
Right.
it'll be.
And then comes out hard against immigration on top of it.
It'll be like when they put Scarface away for tax evasion. They didn't get him on all the other stuff.
You mean Al Capone?
Yeah, Al Capone.
Yeah.
Not Scarface. That was a fictional character.
No. But Scarface is
yeah. Also, I was about to say. Okay, well, when you said it just made Al Capone. Because
I thought the same thing too.
Yeah, with the culture that we grew up in, you say Scarface, they thinking about Al Pacino.
True.
All right, man. When they locked Al Pacino up for that motherfucker.
Not Serpico. They didn't get him. I didn't play. I was aware of the jackpot. I totally just completely forgot to get it, and I wasn't feeling lucky to. And I always want to feel good going into it, and I wasn't feeling especially lucky. So that kind of contributed to me not playing. But I'm certainly not like Sydney anti-lottery.
Just so y'all know, the Powerball is like it about damn near the same thing. I'm gonna tell y'all real quick.
I'm gonna definitely play.
I'm gonna tell you, Jason, just in case. So
I'm not anti.
Hey.
I've just played.
I know it may not be enough for you.
Right.
I can count on one hand how many times I've played. Because the first time I played Lotto, I was probably in my mid-20s. Because I never did that. Go out and get it when you could first do it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't go to a casino right away. I didn't play the Lotto right away. I didn't buy cigarettes right away.
I did everything right away.
That wasn't my thing. But I did vote right away.
Someone hit the Powerball this past week. Both of them were over like 700, even though Mega was at $1 billion. Somebody hit both.
Do you know what the take home is on that?
I think it's like 600
be like
and up. What's the vote? The winning numbers in Tuesday's 865 Mega Million drawings were 10, 19, 26, 28, 50, and Mega Ball 16. The cash lump sum was 638. This is from the Mega was 866. This is from Tuesday. It would have been $638 million you walked away from.
Dang.
You know how many people you can make rich with that money? Like, you can actually look out for people. Like, I got to get like this type of money to make a lot lot of people happy. Because if I just had like 20 mil,
you could put 600.
This is exactly what I was talking about. When I played it in 2018, I was like $1 billion take home. All right, I'm going to set up a publishing company, a production house, all this shit, and then
too much.
Got a bunch of people who have interest. What?
You got enough money to throw down the hole. I feel you.
Yeah, like I could support people and like
I'm putting
profit.
I'm putting 300 mil in some kind of trust, 300 mil in the charity, and that 38, we're living, baby. We are living with that 38 mil.
You said you put 300 mil in a charity.
Yeah, that's the only thing I want to do. I want to do a charity, something to give back. You got to give back.
You need to found a foundation.
You're good because
you got to do your own thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It'd be my own charity. My own cause.
Yeah, don't trust anybody else with that level of cash. They will.
They hitting you up for real.
But you gotta get back.
Oh yeah,
300 mil is a good number. 300 mil in a trust that'll grow real good.
50 mil, I'm gonna put in that trust. It's gonna grow.
But see, you got 638. You got 638, 300 in a trust, 300 in a charity, and you got 38 to play with.
I gotta diversify more than that. I gotta get real estate holdings, and I gotta, again, publishing house, production company.
Well, Jason, we know if that thing is $1 million short of a third record, you're not going to go for it ever.
I need $100 million in gold, just in case. just in case
see
all
diamond
this
gold.
paper money goes to shit. And gold is volatile too. Maybe I'll get it in silver instead of. But I'm getting on something like that just in case we all go like paper money goes to put. I'm still gonna be a king. I'm like, I got gold.
Instead of the traditional Scrooge McDuck diving in all the things, instead I'm imagining Ken on ice skates with bullion instead of ice, and he's just skating around on top of his bullion.
Wouldn't you want diamonds though? Wouldn't diamonds be a little bit better for the future? If everything goes to shit.
Here's the thing. There's practical uses for gold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's practical uses for diamonds.
Nobody's using real diamonds to cut shit with. Like,
no. They might in the future when the currency goes.
Diamonds. Ain't nobody taking like the bluest of all gems and be like, yeah, cut this shit with. Like,
yeah, like I was watching Daily Mail. Cardi B showed off her like engagement ring. I'm just imagining her 20 years from now, like trying to cut up something with her engagement ring. Currency goes to hell.
Right. So I definitely need 100 million in whatever alloy that I know is going to, in case everything goes to shit, I'm still rich. I'm definitely going to start up a charity. If I got that much money, everybody I fuck with is at least getting $1 million. No, you're going to get $1 million at least, right? And I'm going to buy you your house. But the $1 million you can't touch. It's in a bank account and you got to live off $100,000 a year. Everything else you do is everything.
And with the house, I would create my own subdivision somewhere. Like you can live wherever you want. Here's your money. You can go buy a house wherever you want, but this is your other house if you want. In the
I got crash pads all over the world. That's
with
the
key.
Definitely, Jason.
Definitely.
Definitely, Jason.
London, Sydney, Tokyo, New York, LA, doesn't matter.
You're flying too much. I need
it
it domestic right now. I need to be spending that.
I'm not having.
But if you're private jetting to Tokyo,
private jetting, and if I'm
not Floyd Mayweathering to Tokyo,
that wasn't a priority before, but maybe it is now when you win the lottery is to get that private jet.
That's a little different.
I got a private jet. Listen, I can't just be out here regular with that, especially when you send that private jet. Somebody be like, I'm sending a jet, Sydney Brown. You know what that means, right, girl? I said Sydney Brown.
Right. Don't you even think about jacking it, or I'll pull my piece in.
Hey, you doing my jet now? All right, last one. One we didn't say at the beginning of this show, but we know today that Larry King, great host, interviewer, passed alive, lived many lives with many wives. Not even saying that in a disrespectful manner, because Sydney Brown was here talking about Larry King, and we were talking a little bit before you got like Hank Aaron. I was saying that because he had to be an iconoclast or just such a virtue in Black culture, Hank Aaron couldn't have 7 wives. He had to have only one. It's unfair to a Hank Aaron. I just want to say that. All right,
but to your wives thing, and not to be disrespectful, I seriously thought when I saw the headline he died. Like, doesn't he have a youngest child of like under 10? I was thinking, like, man, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's messed up. Let's say the least. You know what I'm saying? And I won't even go into it, but maybe that's why you don't have kids. Me, I don't. But anyway, sorry, I'm foul.
Hey,
why couldn't Hank Aaron have that kid?
Tomorrow, because we got to complete that trilogy.
Listen, he got
over 85.
He had to do what D did. And he should have done what D did. All right.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, it's only being fair. Again, I don't want to do that on Larry King passing. Larry King, we wish you the best. This is really about Hank Aaron. Real quick, this is from USA Today. Yeah, it is. Fuck all that. I'm being honest.
Fair enough.
I love the wives thing though. Poor Hank. Poor Hank. This is BS.
Could be out there just the real hammer. But,
you see, I'm on Babe Ruth's ass, and you want me to just have another woman? Are you nuts?
Oh boy.
All right, this is from USA Today. Predictable, authentic, consistent, and a standard bearer for excellence. That best describes Henry Aaron, that his teammates saw and knew on a daily basis during his legendary Major League career. Those words amply apply both to Aaron, the most feared player in the game during that time, Aaron the person. He lived a life and went about his craft with the same unwavering business-like approach and humility and strength. Quiet confidence is how I remember him. Former Braves teammate Tom House said of the Hall of Fame home run hitter who died Friday at the age of 86. Aaron never let his fame or anyone else's status impact how he carried himself or how he treated people. And I want to shout out to Hank Aaron. You can go back to when Barry Bonds, full of Cleveland career and HGH, broke his record. He didn't go take the low road.
Right.
Like definitely like we know what's the name that used to be Buzz Selig wanted him to. Buzz Selig wanted it. Look, boy, Selig was like Trump to Pence. Like, I want you to say this shit about him, right? Like, say it, Hank, say it.
Meanwhile, he's like, but I was friends with his dad. I can't be mad at the guy.
Right.
What do you want me to do?
I brought in steroids, but say it, Hank, say it.
He was like, Hank Aaron was like, man, you know how many of those greenies Willie was on back then?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but essentially Hank Aaron was like to the home run as Tony Gwynn was to the single or to a base hit.
Well, no, actually, you're underscoring Hank Aaron again, because Hank Aaron had what, over 3,000 hits. I think, like I saw this yesterday. If Hank Aaron had hit one home run, he's still a Hall of Famer. Like, that's how crazy his offense is. When you're saying that Tony, like, so I'm saying,
because he never had like a 50 home run.
No, he never had a 50 home
I think his highest was 44.
That's the thing. He doesn't drop off. It's just every year it's like 41, 41, 41, 41. And when this is in a time period where sometimes the next guy over or up was like 30 something or 50 or 60, like he was just 40 something, 40 something, 40 something for like 20 plus years.
Man, like,
yeah, think about that.
The level of consistency.
Even without the home runs, he's still a Hall. I'll just let you know offensively how dominant or consistently dominant Hank Aaron was. But also on top of that,
he's pretty underrated as like
because he was
a sports athlete.
He wasn't a rah-rah guy or a glitzy guy. Like we think about Willie Mays with the basket catch over his back.
Right.
You know, like you didn't.
The markets he played in and the time that he played in them, like, okay, if he was in Atlanta today, because Atlanta's a very different city for the tail end of his career, like, it would have been a whole different story. But he spent most of the time in Milwaukee, or at least the early period.
Yeah.
He was dominant in Milwaukee. Nobody cared about Milwaukee, even in 1955.
Right.
So
That's
true.
He couldn't even have wives, and he's living in Milwaukee. Oh. My Lord. That poor man.
Truly legendary sacrifice.
I know.
He moved down to Atlanta, and they got Atlanta's not hot Atlanta yet.
Yeah.
I know. As soon as he passed, Jesus met him at the pearly gates. Like, Hank, I did you wrong a little bit. You come on in, brother. I gave you that swing, though. You got to give me that.
Virgins or whatever, or 16 virgins. Is that what you're saying?
Nobody wants virgins. All right, let's be honest.
Exactly.
I mean, there could be a few in there, but you can't have primarily.
No. You see, that's going to get sexist. You want someone who's a little.
Well, this isn't sexist. It's just what we prefer.
You want somebody who's just starting out, but also kind of knows a little bit about themselves.
It's just a stereotype or a outdated thing. Like, I don't.
No, I want you to have a. I'm too old. All right, to be teaching.
No, I'm with you. I don't want to. To me, I would equate that to a dry rub wing. I want that sauce, baby.
That's a weird analogy. I wouldn't have made that analogy, but fair enough.
On that note, make sure you check out Sidney Brown of Second City Sports and on Wheel Rigger Radio.
And do not check him out at his car. Do not check him out there.
He's going to kill you for that, all right?
Hey, you got a light? Yeah, I do. Bang, 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 bang.
That car's worth $1,200. And Sidney going to put your ass in the dirt over that motherfucker.
Excuse me, sir. Could I trouble you for $1? No. Bang, 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 bang.
Go knock on his window at the stoplight off the freeway.
So yeah, you could check out The Murderer on Second City Sports and we are recording.
Sir, your taillights out. Bang, 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 bang.
Jason will be back with the show on a regular basis. You know, me and Ryan will be there for you on Wednesday with that Davis show. We always appreciate it. Don't do anything crazy before you hear from us again.
We gone.